Portable TV. Come watch with me. Speaking of presidents, the murder of President John F. Kennedy still haunts us to this day. It's not just because of the mysteries that surround his death. It's because of the fallen president's distrust of the FBI. Are agencies like the CIA and the FBI out of control? Are they, as we say about some big, giant corporations, too big to fail, or worse, too big and too powerful to even question? There's a new documentary about this. It's called 1,000 Pieces. Here's a taste.
I think CIA, the FBI, and elements of the NSA are out of control.
If the reform is done right of the intelligence agencies, I can see all the other countries following suit.
These agencies are facing a time of reckoning.
In 1,000 pieces.
There you see his name, Sean Stone, filmmaker, narrator, good enough to join us now to talk about this. This is a fascinating story that most Americans don't think about as much today as they used to, say, 20, 30 years ago. And that's the unrelenting power of the CIA and the FBI. We know once with the Church Report that they had to be controlled because they were, to say the least, maybe a little out of control, especially in Latin America. Are they still tamped down, though, or are they still doing these types of things that we all read about in our history books, Sean?
Well, I don't know the full extent of what the CIA's continued to be, but believe me, they have not gone away. What happened after the Church Committee was interesting because Bush Sr. was appointed to be a director as part of that transition, and he's sort of a life CIA personality himself. What he did was he helped to privatize a lot of the work that was done, and I think you get in the course of what we see here is with how we know, like NSA, for example, was working with private companies, the big telecom companies and whatnot for, what they call it, surveillance of the citizens or, data mining, this kind of thing. This is all an extension of that organization, which is shifting from the oversight committees and into the deeper apparatus, the deep state apparatus, which is real. And what Trump has been trying to fight the last 4 years and talking about making it as public is things that, I wrote about in my book, New World Order. New World Order gets into this. There is a deep state apparatus that exists where it's connecting big business, academics who are teaching in the universities, giving the point of view that then gets to the leading lights of journalism or business or finance. And it all connects actually at these different levels of intersective personnel.
Do you talk at all in your book about the programs that we are just now learning more about, COINTELPRO, for example, and some of these other FBI programs and CIA programs where they actually admitted that they were doing nefarious things like trying to go after people like Martin Luther King and assassinate leaders in Latin America, et cetera, et cetera?
That's the old thing. That stuff is so old, and people don't know it by now. It's just, this was actually part of why 1,000 Pieces was documentary to remind people of COINTELPRO, MK Ultra mind control programs that were done by the government and how it's continued to the present day. And again, even utilized against people like President Trump since the day he was in this, how they basically turned this into a war against him using counterintelligence and things like the Russiagate conspiracy theory that they propagated intentionally, right? This is why it's an important documentary. 1,000 Pieces is really important to watch.
Does it, and I think we're just about out of time, but what's the one thing people will get from this documentary in a word?
They will get that we are basically being fooled by most of these politicians that are in conjunction with deep state personnel, with the people basically behind the scenes that are really running these agencies, CIA, FBI, NSA. And if we don't have a politician in office that actually challenges them, we're in trouble as a country.
Sean Stone, filmmaker and the voice of the documentary. My thanks to you, my friend, for bringing us that. We appreciate it. Look forward to it. Stay